All
Well,
right.
everyone that's with us so far, we're going to get things started. My name is Craig Udale. I'm the Dean of the Canadian Food and Wine Institute, and I'm excited to have everyone here today to get things started to talk about the Canadian Food and Wine Institute. I know that in about an hour's time, you're going to break out and go to our individual breakout sessions for our programs. But in the meantime, we want to spend a little bit of time talking about our institute, our division here at Niagara College, a little bit about Niagara College, and we'll have a chance to hear from one of our students and a short presentation, and then we'll give you a chance to answer any questions that you have. There is a question and answer section. At any time that we're talking, please feel free to put your question up on the list, and either myself, we have someone from international, someone from our recruitment team, or other people here or our students can help answer that question for you. We're going to start by introducing our other lead speaker here today, and that is our Associate Dean in charge of our academics here at the Canadian Food and Wine Institute, and that's Gary Toverell. So I'll pass it over to Gary to bring greetings.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. Nice to have everybody here today joining us. It's typically, we always welcome everyone and welcome and open up our doors to you on our campus at the Niagara Lake campus. However, of course, this is a unique undertaking today, and we're now providing you with this experience virtually. And we still look forward to showcasing our programs throughout the next several hours. And today, Craig and I, as he had already mentioned, are just going to provide a general overview of our programs. And then you will have the opportunity to break off into smaller breakout sessions with each of our program areas to speak to faculty and coordinators in those programs and find out a little more about the programs themselves. So I think, Craig, I'm looking at you now, but I think we'll maybe introduce Rama and have Rama go first, and then you and I can go forward with our PowerPoint.
Sure. I'll let Rama introduce himself. We have one of our students here from our culinary program that would like to say a few words, bring greetings on behalf of the students of the Canadian Food and Wine Institute and his program, and also tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a Niagara College student. So why don't I pass it off to Rama and you can get things started.
Oh, you guys are putting me on first. All right. I'm Rama. I'm a student in the Culinary Management, Culinary Skills program, second semester right now. I'm just here to give you guys a little bit more of a perspective from a student about what it's like to be a Niagara College student, and also what led me to pick Niagara College. There's a lot of choices out there for you guys. You guys know that, I'm sure. I did a lot of research before I picked Niagara College. And what ultimately made me decide on Niagara College was, first of all, the fantastic faculty there. If you guys go on the website, you can Google all of them. Chef Olson, who you'll meet later if you're going to be in our breakout session later on, is a published author. He's an accomplished restaurateur. If you Google all of them, you'll find out they're all culinary rock stars, and you'll get super intimidated. And after that, when you meet them, you'll know they're super nice people who are all really invested in your future. The other thing that made me pick Niagara College out of all of the other culinary schools out there is the fantastic facilities there. You'll find a lot of schools there that have their own restaurant. Niagara College is the only one that I found that has their own restaurant, teaching winery, teaching brewery, teaching greenhouse, teaching apiary program. So all of that stuff is available to you guys, and you'll look in your manuals at the start of your semester, and you'll find that tons of recipes use Niagara College wine, Niagara College beer, Niagara College honey, and you're encouraged to go and meet the people who make it and taste it ahead of time. So you'll have a leg up on ingredient identification and knowing where all of your ingredients come from. And that's just something that you can't really get at any other school that I found anyway. Why do I love being a Niagara College student? There's a lot of reasons. I think the biggest reason is that you'll find at a lot of schools, you'll have a competitive mentality against your fellow students. You'll want to be the best. Here, every single class has been drilled into us that we're a team here. If we all do well, we all do well. So you're encouraged to help all of your fellow students, and they're encouraged to help you. There's no real animosity that I found. I've really just found that everyone is looking out for everyone else, and that's really refreshing in a competitive industry and also a competitive school environment. The other reason that I love Niagara College is there's a huge chance for exploration here. That was a little bit more true before the age of COVID, and it'll hopefully be true afterwards. But in my first semester in January of this year, we are encouraged to go out and explore the other programs. If you are interested in brewery or winemaking or the greenhouse, you are encouraged to go out there and investigate that stuff. The spa has given away free massages, and there was a baking contest where you got paired with a bakery student, and you got to experience that program even if you weren't in that program. And finally, I'd like to speak a little bit about the support that you get at Niagara College. One of the really refreshing things that I have found is all of my chef professors have time for me, no matter what. I've been in other academic institutions, and a lot of people say, oh, see me during office hours, or send me an email and I'll get back to you, which might happen here. Obviously, they're busy people and they have things to do, but most of the time, my chef professors were happy to give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half an hour in the middle of their day, as long as they didn't have another class to prepare for. And I never really felt brushed off. I never really felt like no one was taking me seriously. The other things that I want to talk about is our COVID response. I was really nervous about coming back to school during the semester. We were just in lockdown. Now you know that cases are spiking again. But the school has been really good about all of their COVID response. You get checked every day. Masks are mandatory. I don't see anybody not obeying that protocol. And the professors are really serious at the same time, really understanding about how difficult it is during this time. And the biggest thing is we're in class, so that's fantastic. I can't stress that enough. We are in the kitchen and we're cooking, so I can't praise the school enough for their COVID response. I guess the final thing I want to say is that you're going to get whatever you put into this program. All the professors are going to see how you approach your academic program, whatever that is. And if you grind and push hard and show them that you want to be there and show up early and leave late, then they're going to push for you. They're all super invested in your success, and you'll get what you put in. And I think that's probably it for me. And I'm going to pass it back to our deans here.
Well, thank you so much, Rama. That was it's always fantastic, you know, in my role.
I'm sorry to jump in. We do have a question before we get started. If
Sure.
you wouldn't mind jumping over to the Q&A, Mr. Udale.
That's a very good question. So I'm just going to let you know that the program for 2021 has changed from wine business to beverage business. The program that's running right now is wine business management, but it will be completed in April. And what we've done is redeveloped and expanded that program to not just look at the business of wine, but look at the business of all aspects of fermented beverages. So you'll be talking about, or sorry, looking at the beer industry, the distilling industry, the cider industry, and how they all interconnect and how they can even coexist in the same business. So if you're certainly interested in the wine business, but also interested in any other aspect, then please take part in that breakout session. Join us here right now to learn more about CFWI, but then that breakout session in an hour will be the one for you to address. Hope that helps. Thanks again to Rama. Always great to hear from our students and their experience. That's fantastic. We have so many great stories from our students, and some are here for a short time or a year, some are here for as long as 3 years. And they all have really unique experiences, and any chance you have to hear them and hear their perspective and hear how they feel about their professors and their time in class, and especially at these strange times and how we're dealing with COVID, it's fantastic to hear from Rama, and I want to thank him for his time today. He is here to answer any questions if you want to poke that on the board. But Rama, I believe, is also going to be in our breakout session with Chef Michael Olson and our culinary team. So if you have any direct questions for him, please bring them here. So what I'd like to do is have a short presentation that Gary and I are going to talk a little bit about the Canadian Food and Wine Institute to bring you up to speed on what it's all about. And we will then open it up to questions as soon as we're done. So let me start by letting you know that the Canadian Food and Wine Institute is, of course, part of Niagara College. Niagara College is a part of the college community here in Ontario, part of 24 colleges. We have over 12,000 students on 2 big campuses, with the Canadian Food and Wine Institute being at the Daniel J. Patterson campus here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. But we also have our Welling campus, which is has about 2/3 of our students and about 1/3 of our students here on our campus. Our campus is one of the most beautiful in the country. Obviously, normally when we have our open house, it's our favorite time to show off our space. But we're hopefully be able to bring that to you in some videos and pictures today in your sessions. So the Canadian Food and Wine Institute is the School of Food and Wine Sciences. And what it does is it covers a variety of programs. And we'll start by sort of identifying what those programs are. The Institute in name has been here for 10 years, but our programs date back multiple decades with our culinary program and our other programs that have come online over the years. So I'm going to turn it over to Gary, who's going to look at the different programs that we have throughout the Canadian Food and Wine Institute. So not only the one that you might be interested in, but all the others that make up our division. And we have a lot of really interesting, programs that have developed over the years, and as new as our distilling program and as old as our original culinary program. So I'll turn it over to Gary to give you a little flavor of what we have to deliver here in our institute. Gary?
Okay, thanks, Craig. And I've been muted for a few minutes here, but just wanted to give my thanks to Rama. That was just so well done, Rama. And thanks so much for representing us all here. You do us all so proud. So thank you very much. So I'm going to give a brief overview of our programs. And again, as Craig has already mentioned, there is going to be an opportunity for you to go into each of these program clusters and ask questions of faculty and coordinators when we finish this session at 12:30. So certainly if there's any general questions, Craig and I are more than happy to talk about that. And I know Rama had mentioned the COVID response, and I know that certainly it's something that I hear a lot about over the last 5-6 months or so. And certainly if there are any questions that you would like for Craig and I to answer about that specifically, this is certainly a good time as well to ask any questions you may have about that. We certainly recognize that it's on everybody's mind, and we're more than happy to share what we've done since we actually before we started the term and now that we're during the term. So I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, Rama, because as a student, you certainly have a very unique perspective on what the college response has been. So I do thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so as you can see from the program cluster here, we do have a very unique set of programs, and really there's no other institution in the world that actually can boast this kind of a lineup of programs. And in many cases, they are complementary to each other, but also have very unique differences as well that make them very unique in their own right. So in our culinary cluster, for starters, we have our Baking and Pastry Arts Certificate Program, and that is a 1-year program. I will also add that many of our programs, and I'll make note of that as I go along, are also have multiple intakes per year. So for our Baking and Pastry Arts program, which is a 1-year certificate, so it's 2 consecutive terms, that is actually offered in 3 intakes a year. So you can enter this program in January, May, or September of each year. So there is a continuous intake, which provides us with lots of flexibility for students to join us whenever they deem that this is something they really want to do and join our program, and we're more than happy to have you join us. It is an intensive 2 terms for sure, and really the broad scope of this is to provide students with a broad set of skills and knowledge in all facets of baking and pastry. So everything from basic cookies and pies to chocolate and sugar work, cakes, etc. You run the gamut of everything in that program during that year. When we skip over to culinary, we have 2 programs that offer lots of opportunity as well, and different experiences in each. And again, for both of these programs, they are available in a multiple intake model. So we actually, again, have students can join us in January, May, or September as well in either one of these programs. The culinary skills program, I'll start with first, is a 1-year program. So again, it's 2 terms, 2 consecutive terms. And what it does share with culinary management is a common first year. So if you've taken culinary skills, you've actually taken what is also the first year of the culinary management program. And I will also say that there is always an opportunity for students who have enrolled in culinary skills and have enjoyed it so much and see what maybe their friends and fellow students are doing in second year, that they say, wow, I want to actually do that too. And so certainly we have the opportunity for students to continue on and take culinary management. And now it's fairly seamless because you've already completed year 1 anyway. So the culinary management program is also what we call a co-op program. So between first year and second year, there is also a full term for a co-op. And that is a paid co-op position. We have a co-op office that also helps for students to find employment. And they do a fantastic job, our co-op office team, to locate opportunities for students. But you can also speak to your professors or find a position that works for you. And that is certainly fine as well. What we really want students to get out of that co-op experience is to really utilize the skills that they've learned in first year and really to prepare them for the advanced skills that will come in second year. In second year of that program, as the program states, it really is a management program. So although you certainly do still spend a lot of time in the kitchen, you also take several courses that are management related to prepare you for a career potentially as an executive chef or a kitchen manager or other type of position similar to that, where you will utilize those skills to be the best manager you can possibly be, leading a team of chefs. And the other program that we have in the culinary cluster is Cook Apprenticeship program. And this is a ministry, colleges of trades and technology ministry program where you actually can achieve what they call a certificate of completion in Cook Apprenticeship. And for us here at Niagara College, we conduct the training in lab, and then you would actually go off and work as well in with an employer with a Red Seal chef and work towards obtaining your Red Seal when you've completed the in-lab portion, which you complete with us, and then also the portion you would complete working with industry. So this is certainly another opportunity outside of our regular post-secondary training for you also to get a certification in Cook. And this program is offered in just the winter term only. So you would actually join us in the winter term from January to April. You would then go and work with an industry partner for the remainder of the year, come back and take your Cook 2 training from the following January to April, and then you would be finished all of your in-class requirement, and then you would just need to work towards the number of hours required to write your Red Seal exam and eventually become a Red Seal chef. The other program we have really within culinary, it's a really interesting program, the Culinary Innovation and Food Technology Program. And this is a really unique program as well in Ontario. And I always like to tell students, if you have always had interest in cooking, but also really enjoy sciences, then this really might be the program for you. If you're constantly asking the question, why something is happening to food, how food reacts to different forms of heat, etc., then this really might be something that really is interest to you. We take really what is almost equivalent to the first year of culinary skills, where students get a really good opportunity to learn cooking skills, and then they apply that in years 2 and 3 and really take on more of a science angle. And that's what makes this a really unique program. If something like being a research chef or working in product development sound like something you're interested in, then this is certainly the program for you. And again, it is a 3-year advanced diploma and also has a co-op option as well. Well, not an option, there is a co-op in the program. The switching over to beverage programs, we then have in our winery kind of cluster, we have the Winery and Viticulture Technician Program, which is a 2-year program. And this has a practicum between the first and second year as well. And also an opportunity for you to go and work in the industry and gain some experience in a winery. Typically, students want to work either in the growing aspect, they want to be a winemaker, or perhaps they want to work more behind the scenes, perhaps in the cellar, or in even in operating a winery overall. And this certainly is a program that provides lots of different facets open to you to choose the career path that really works for you. Obviously, on campus, we have our own winery with over 30 acres of our own vineyard as well. So the practical element here is fantastic because you get an opportunity to learn and grow within our own winery. And it also contains many elements of science as well. It's a very science-heavy program. So within our campus, we have the science labs. There is a sensory component as well. So there's also opportunities for you to really develop and refine your sensory component around wine. So this is a great program for those who want to enter the wine industry as a whole. There was a question earlier about the beverage business program and the wine business program. And as Craig alluded to, we are in the final offering of wine business management and are switching our focus to beverage business management. And certainly this is certainly in line with what's happening in the industry, where we are, you're starting to see a real growth in the cider industry, obviously the brew industry, and now also in the artisan distilling and spirit management as well. So we certainly want our students to be much more broadly aware of all the different facets of the beverage business world. So looking at the legal and regulatory environment, looking at the business world, looking at marketing, these are all aspects that we feel that students really should understand all of those different types of alcohol so that they can actually become more adept to work in the business as it's starting to evolve, where we really are seeing growth in all those areas. So moving just beyond wine, which obviously is still going to be a big component of this program, but certainly introducing beverage, cider, beer, and spirits as well. The other program we have is our Brewmaster and Brewery Operations program. And of course, we also are very proud to have our own teaching brewery where students can work and learn in a real working brewery, which also has its own retail component as well. So beyond the classroom aspect, students spend time every week in the brewery actually brewing beer and gaining those skills and attributes that will be so valuable to them when they go on to become brewers themselves. There is also certainly a management aspect to that, because many of our students want to also go on and perhaps own and operate their own brewery. So that's certainly another aspect of this that we also take into account in the program. So beyond being a brewer, we also want you really to understand the business aspect. There is also a lot of sensory and a lot of science in this program. And that's something that really, we think, makes a really well-rounded student. When they graduate, they've got a really good understanding of all those concepts. The most recent program to join our cluster is Artisan Distilling. And thankfully, we have our own distillery where students can also work on pilot systems and learn the art of distilling. Similar to brewing, we obviously also have a focus on sensory and on the science aspect. This program itself is actually what we call a graduate certificate program, which means it's a one-year program. However, to be enrolled in this program, you have to have a degree or diploma before you are actually enrolled in this. So it is something that you would have to have a degree or diploma already. We're not necessarily looking only for students who have a science background or a background in distilling. We also clearly understand that students come from a variety of different walks of life. And when the time hits and you think that this is the program for you, then we want to make sure that we can welcome you to this program and provide an experience where you feel that you can also be successful and learn and grow within that program and develop the skills and attributes that are required to be a successful graduate. And within the last 2 years that we've had this program running, we have had students go on and become successful distillers as far away now as Jamaica and as close as here in Niagara. But we have already had some very successful graduates in this program. So I think, Craig, that's probably enough for a brief overview. And so I'm going to turn it back over to you now.
Thanks, Gary. Here at the Canadian Food and Wine Institute and at Niagara College, not just here in our institute, one of the key aspects, what makes our campus and our learning opportunities unique, is what we refer to as learning enterprises. And these are actual manufacturing sites and businesses that operate on campus all year round, sometimes 7 days a week, and give the opportunity to students to not only apply their learning within these operations, but also even get the chance to work in these operations and eventually even get full-time employment in these operations. So in the Canadian Food and Wine Institute, Gary had mentioned a few of the operations that connect with our students and what they learn. And it also gives a chance for the community, for visitors, for tourists, and prospective new students to come and see firsthand what it is that the students are doing and the finished product of what they're able to produce. So we do have one of the first of our learning operations was our teaching winery, which was originally launched in 2002, but then in 2009, you have the beautiful Wine Visitor Education Center that was opened up by Prince Philip, who came to visit us and cut our ribbon and launched a variety of other learning enterprises that were soon to come. Shortly after that, about a year later, we launched our teaching brewery. This small operation actually doubled in size a year later to its current operation. And both these operations are manufacturing sites that produce not only for on-site tasting rooms, but they also can be found in your local pub, restaurant, hotel, on your favorite tap, or a bottle in your favorite restaurant, that you can actually see the Niagara College brand across Ontario. In 2018, we were excited to add the teaching distillery. The distillery itself, you can try the products at our Wine Visitor Education Center. It's a small but mighty operation that is a really exciting addition to our fermentation beverages, and is really a truly unique operation. All three of these operations are truly unique in Canada and how they integrate with each other and how they connect to the academic programs at CFWI. We have a variety of it. We have our Aurora Armory, which is a continuing education space that was opened up in the city of Aurora, or the town of Aurora, north of Toronto, to give access for students and the community to what we teach here at CFWI. No full-time programs there, but a chance for the community to come in and take a cooking class, take a wine tasting, book an event, and see the expertise that is part of CFWI. But there's also other learning enterprises at Niagara College, like our greenhouse. We also have our spa, and soon to have other learning operations that will open up as part of the model. So a real exciting part and unique part of our operation, and truly what makes us unique around the world. People travel from out of province and out of country just to see the model that we have for our institute, and that Niagara College is very proud of how this particular teaching model is really unique, and people come to take information and expertise from us and bring it back to their operations, and we see operations spreading up all over the world that have learned from what we do here at the college. Wrong way. Another aspect of school is the opportunity to do things beyond what we do in class. So as Rama had mentioned, is that certainly we have fantastic professors. It's really the strength of who we are and the expertise that we bring to the classroom. But we look at all kinds of other opportunity, from something as simple as walking across campus to our tasting room and try the wines from our winery, or go to our tap room and try the beers from our teaching brewery. But we also have opportunity to take yourself off campus, across the province, across the country, and around the world. Sometimes they're integrated into your programs with tours and visits to operations across Ontario, whether it's breweries, wineries, culinary facilities. But we also have opportunity for students to travel the world. We have what's called a Be World Ready program, which has a variety of opportunities for students, not just in our division, but across the college, to go in student groups around the world to experience not just their own industry, but also the culture that other countries and other continents provide. We have articulations with schools around the world that allow you to continue your education once you've completed here, to continue on to other diplomas, other certificates, and especially degrees, so you can continue your educational path, not just in Canada, but around the world. And I'll bring Gary in now just to give you an example of one of the Be World Ready trips that he took, and he can spend a couple minutes just telling you a little bit about the beer students that got to go see what's happening in Germany.
Okay, yeah, so there's a picture you can see there. Actually, I was trying to remember where that was, but it was taken just outside of a hops museum, just outside of Munich. But this was a wonderful trip that I was very fortunate to be able to accompany the students on. And the Be World Ready program as a whole is just a wonderful way for students to connect the learning outcomes and the experiences they've had in class with an experiential trip somewhere around the world. And this obviously going to Munich, and we happened to be there during the it was actually during the Spring Fest. So there is the Oktoberfest, which many people know about. We happened to be there during the Spring Festival, which is a little bit smaller, but certainly still a significant event in and around Munich. And so over the course of a week, we had an action-packed plan, an agenda that one of our faculty coordinator, Adrian, had developed with our international team, the Be World Ready team, to coordinate this and have us travel to Germany as a group with all the students. And you can see that there were a fair number of students that actually took part, around 30, I believe. And so every day we were visiting different types and styles of breweries. We were going to equipment manufacturers. We were going to hop fields. We were going to, in this case, it was the Hop Museum. And it was just a really wonderful way for students to connect to another culture and experience their industry or what they're learning from somewhere else around the world. And we definitely get our students out on these as much as we possibly can. Certainly, this has taken a little bit of a pause while we deal with the COVID pandemic, but we're always planning for additional trips, and certainly over the next number of years, I know that we'll be able to rekindle these and move back into traveling around the world like we have been. But they really have added a really unique experience for students to learn and grow and develop their intercultural competence, which we all know that being world ready means you being ready to go work somewhere else in the world, but it also means you being more comfortable and confident and competent working with other cultures. And this is something that we feel has been a really, really a big highlight for many of our students over the past number of years attending these trips. All right, back to you, Craig.
All right, thanks, Gary. Another thing, before I make some closing remarks, and another opportunity I want to mention, and some of you are on this, sorry, I'm having wonderful technical difficulties here. Yeah, that's better. We do pride ourselves as being one of the top research schools in the country. And a variety of our programs connect to what we do in Niagara College Research Department. And specifically for us, we do have the Canadian Food and Wine Institute Innovation Center. And that gives a chance for our, not only our innovation students, but also a variety of our students from across programs to get a chance to be involved in research projects. There's not only research positions that are connected to our innovation students, but there's also opportunity to be involved, whether it's a panelist or whether it's a taster or whether it's actually involved in the development of a product. These are real life, real exciting opportunities to see what's happening in the food industry. We have recently built, or actually in the middle of finalizing construction to our Murata Innovation Center, which houses a variety of rooms and educational facilities, most importantly, some food science labs and some food innovation labs that are focused on food product development and food science. This is something that continues to grow and develop for us. It's something that we take a lot of pride in, and our innovation students certainly take the lead in this, but it's something that all our students have a chance to be involved with and take pride in. As this continues to develop and grow, we work with companies across the region, Ontario and Canada, to help them not only sometimes just fix problems and help improve their food quality and beverage quality, but also actually launch entire new product lines that are available in retail operations and stores across the country, or even across North America, that are developed right here at Niagara College. And so this is a real exciting part of Niagara College that the Canadian Food and Wine Institute is certainly proud to be involved with. I'd like to just make a couple of closing comments about our institute, and then open it up to see if there's any questions. I know the breakout sessions will be starting shortly in about 20 minutes. I encourage everyone here to make sure they make their way to their desired breakout session so they can talk directly to our coordinators and professors and get some questions about your opportunities to learn here at the Canadian Food and Wine Institute at Niagara College. I want to close by saying is that every college and university strives to do the best they can to educate their students and give them an opportunity in the world. They're about developing careers, they're about developing ideas, they're about developing innovation, and they're about developing people and getting them on the right path. Here at Niagara College, that's certainly on our mind at all times, but we have a few things that we really like to concentrate on. First and foremost is the excellence of our faculty and the excellence of the people that are here at the college. You can have a lot of really fantastic equipment, places to study, classrooms, AV equipment. We have amazing campus. We have incredible facilities here, some of the best in the world. But they really don't do anything without people. They don't operate without people. You don't get the information without people, and you're not able to accomplish what you need to accomplish without the people. Our faculty are the best. They are experts at their field. We have decades, if not centuries, of experience in our faculty here alone and across the college. And connected to that, it's not just the faculty, but all our support people, all our administrators, managers, all the people you meet in the hallways, from that first time you contact someone from admissions to dealing with an IT problem, to our counselors that help you when you have concerns and needs, to the people in the library whose sole reason for being is to gather information to make your education a success. It's really about the people, and that's what really makes our place special. I'd say the next part is that we use every opportunity to give you a hands-on applied learning. It's certainly the mandate of all colleges, but it is really ingrained in the DNA of everyone here at Niagara College. Any chance we have to get a real life experience for you, we're going to try and make it happen. From being in our cooking labs to our learning enterprises that are operating with the public, to being out in the vineyard, out in the apiary, out in our vegetable gardens, in the greenhouse, visiting other operations around, and getting a hands-on opportunity. So whether it's vineyard management or it's actually producing beer, and all our beer is produced by our students, or whether it's working on a small wine project or working in our science labs or developing a new food product and having a showcase and have guest chefs and experts come in to test your wares. These are all applied opportunities. Any chance you get to take the knowledge from the classroom and put it into real life, it's really going to excel your ability to work in the industry that you've chosen. And that's really the focus of Niagara College. So I just can't emphasize that enough, can't emphasize our people enough. And I really hope that everyone here has a chance to come and experience what Rama's experiencing and what all our students are experiencing. And that's an opportunity to learn from some of the best people in the world. So I'm going to leave it at that. We know you have a few other things to see. You'll get to see, hopefully through video and pictures, more of our campus and space. But I'll just quickly open it up before we let you go. If anyone has any questions, please let Gary and I know. We also have someone here from international department. So if there are any international questions that you might have, we also have someone from our recruitment and student services. So if there's anything that you're wondering about that we could hopefully help you or guide you to the person that can give you the right information, please let us know. I'd say put your hands up, but that's kind of weird. But either put it in the chat perhaps, or more importantly, put it in the question and answer section, and hopefully we can help you. How about with COVID-19? Very, very good question. I'm glad you asked. For COVID-19, obviously there was a lot of work and done here at the college. So there are three levels of protocols that we've put into place to make people safe. First and foremost are the overall protocols for the college itself. We have a secure system here at both campuses. You do not come on campus unless you have a very specific class or are delivering a class, and then no one else is allowed on campus that isn't approved. We have a health screening form that you ask a series of questions every single time you come in. And both of these have to be in place before you go through our security screen and come into the campus. By doing that, we also create contact tracing so that should there be any problems or concerns, we know who was on campus, where they were, what class they were in, who they were in contact with. Our next level is really for all our lab spaces and our cleaning schedule. So we of course are food safe and have a variety of food safety protocols always in place at all our operations. But we have additional levels because of COVID. So that means sanitizing on a regular basis throughout. We have hand sanitizer and hand wash stations. We have signage and social distancing parameters. Masks are worn at all times. Within each of our labs, whether it's the culinary labs or our science labs, there are multiple levels of cleaning, whether it's cleaning all smallwares and machinery in between use. There is a strict no eating policy within the controlled lab spaces. And there is also actually a complete clean down of the entire lab space in between every single lab that occurs throughout the week. All the smallwares are removed after every single lab, clean, sanitized, and a clean set is brought back in. And we have an entire team of students and staff that move from space to space and look at contact areas, handles, tables, anywhere where there's human contact to make sure that we are fully sanitized. And this is all under the guidance of public health. We have had a really safe environment since we've started. We've had thousands of students come in and out over our first almost 12 weeks here, and our students have been kept very safe. We will continue these. We realize that cases are rising and different parts of the provinces are having different challenges, but what we can do is do everything that we possibly can to keep you safe when you are on campus. Most of our staff work remotely. Most of our students learn remotely, but when they do have practical applications, they are on campus. So I hope that helps and gives you an idea how serious we are. And our staff are constantly reminded by Gary and I about the rules. Our students are constantly reminded by our staff about the rules. We take it very seriously. So whether it's masks, hand washing, and so on. When we can't social distance in the class, we ensure that a high level of hand washing, masks, and surface sanitation is taken very seriously at all times to keep everyone safe. Once people are done class, they are asked to leave campus. So our campus environments stay as clean and as uncluttered and as safe as possible. So I hope that answers your question and gives you a sense of comfort that when you do come to see us in January or in May, hopefully we have a little more freedom by then, but even if we don't, we will continue these practices until such time that everybody is safe.
Craig, Joanne is going to respond to the next question about the
Sure.
Brew program and the quarantine for international students.
Hi, everybody. So I saw the student already has one application in for a hospitality program. So what you can do is either through your agent, or you can email directly to intelapply@niagaracollege.ca, and I'll put that email into the chat. You can email and just provide your student number and request for the second program to be added to your application, because you can apply for 2 programs. Also, just ensure that you do have the admission requirements. So you do require math and either chemistry or biology for that. The IELTS requirement is 6.0 overall, and one band of 5.5 is accepted. Also, regarding the quarantine, so we do have a mandatory quarantine program at Niagara College. We have been approved by Niagara Region Public Health, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, and also the IRCC, Immigration Council of Canada. So you do need to go through our quarantine program. So if you haven't already applied, you can look at applying for January, although it's kind of late to get your visa now if you haven't done so. So you could look at applying for May, and then presumably you will also have to go through the quarantine program for those 2 weeks in May. The quarantine program, the actual cost is 2,000 Canadian dollars, but Niagara College is covering $1,000 of that to help offset the cost for the student. We pick you up at the airport privately. We bring you to the Niagara region. You will stay at a hotel. We've worked carefully with the hotel chefs to make sure, since we're in a culinary discussion here, so we've made, we've had discussions with the hotel chefs to make sure that they're able to cater to international students. We know that the highlight of your day is going to be whatever meal you have, and so we're making sure that the food is great. You have 3 meals per day. We have daily check-ins with the students to make sure that their mental health is staying okay, because they will be staying in a room by themselves for 2 weeks. We have daily activities planned. And also you would be tested by Niagara Public Health to see if you have COVID during that process. So it's a very secure program. In order to enter the country, you do need to have a quarantine plan in place. And so by presenting the Niagara College quarantine program, it's going to enable you to enter Canada more easily than if you were to have your own. I think that should answer all the questions.
Yeah,
Thanks very
that
much,
takes care of
Joanne.
it.
And I would like to just add very quickly is that on the COVID-19 is that we are delivering all of our outcomes. We are not losing any learning opportunities or any training opportunities due to COVID. We have added all the safety measures in place, and that's to ensure that whether it's cooking, brewing beer, our students out in the vineyard at harvest, or in our science labs working through many of our programs, you will still get the same program as you would pre or post COVID. So we wanted to make sure that that was clear and that the safety protocols do not take away from your learning opportunity. Well, thanks again, everyone. I know there's about a 5-minute window. I think if I could say goodbye to everyone and you can slip away, get yourself a coffee, get yourself some water or maybe another beverage. Please take part in our breakout session so you can get connected to the program that I know you loved and that I know you want to come to and talk directly to our amazing staff and faculty. So I'll give it quickly over to Gary to say goodbye, and we wish you well on the rest of your day.
Yes, thanks, Craig. And yes, it was great to see you all so engaged, and thanks for the questions. Even beyond this, make sure that if you're going into any of the other breakout sessions to ask the questions there. The faculty and the coordinator certainly can give you a really good understanding of what the experience looks like from a student perspective. And Craig and I are always here to answer any additional questions. The recruiters will be in and out of those sessions as well. So if there's any additional questions, please just make sure you always bring those forward, and we're going to make sure we get an answer back to you. So thanks again to everyone for joining us today. And we hope to see you all in our halls in the months to come. Take care.